So truth in a certain way does not have to be an absolute truth, you know, that belongs to everyone. You know, it can be subjective. Yes. For example, let me give you a very typical example. Always very tempting for me. Look what Cecilia is doing. Yes. Okay. So that's very interesting. So no, it's okay. Don't defend yourself, Cecilia. Okay. I must say, this is a very interesting situation. Yes, somebody's speaking for ideas, waiting for feedback, and somebody then pulls a book out. Let's just think that's a very nice example. So then I say, I'll just simply ask a very simple question. Yes, what is the meaning of opening a book when somebody's speaking to you, expecting you to get feedback? What is the significance of this? Could you say, as a little warming up exercise? Could you say?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
To not have respect for this person, maybe?
Okay, now let's take that. Let me write this, and it's typical, not to have respect. Well, let me write this, okay? So Cecilia says, not to have respect. Now let me invite you to a little exercise. I asked a question to Cecilia. She could have answered that question in different ways. Now, maybe some people say that is the only way to answer a question. Now, as a general postulate, that does not exist for me. There's never only one way to answer a question. There are always different ways to answer a question. In fact, maybe we'll do it later on, but less for now. But Cecilia, that's the way she answered the question. So, just with that, just only with those 1, 2, 3, 4 words, who has an idea of the axiology of Cecilia? What is, not repeating those words, but trying to analyze the presupposition, just with a concept? Who can define with just one word, one concept, what is specific to the world vision of Cecilia in that answer? Does somebody have a concept to propose? You raise your hand if you have one. There's only one. Only one. If you have, you raise your hand. A couple of people. I'm showing you how I do this kind of exercise at the same time, a little formal thing. There's only 2 people that understand Cecilia.
Mike.
No, don't worry. Mike's the big boy. He has no brother now. Don't worry about it. It's okay. Okay. Unless you're Mike's mother, just let it be. Brother, it's okay. Just fine. Now, in this exercise, each one will raise it by himself. Okay? So, raise your hand, the ones who have, but it has to be visible. I'll tell you why. Because Cecilia, look at those people. You see those people raising the hand? So you choose one and you say, what is the concept you would use for my world vision? Okay?
Yeah.
Who do you ask?
No,
wait. I like it when we hear the question. Either you use it, you say the way I do or something else, but you know, that's the point. You see the point we want to do? Okay, so ask him.
Jean-François, what would be the concept to use for my world vision?
Authority?
Authority. Yes, authority. Yes, so let's write that. Authority. Yes, authority. Okay, this thing has to do with authority. Yes? Okay. Let's check with you. Do you think your not to have respect have something to do with authority or no?
Yeah.
Okay, you think so. Okay. Who has a different concept to apply to Cecilia's remark? Who has a different concept? Raise your hand. Okay, check somebody else.
Mark, what's your concept for my world vision?
The other.
Other. Okay, other. Now, the only thing I have a problem, if the other is the crucial concept, how would you qualify her world vision? I want an adjective. You know, she has a world vision. She has a world vision. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I'm looking for a word.
Okay, if you don't have a word, do you have a word or no?
Unselfish.
Unselfish, yes? Unselfish world vision. Unselfish, yes. But I don't want negative, if you don't mind me bothering you. I don't want a negative. I want a self-sustaining, positive state, a word, not a negation of something.
I don't know English.
Okay, you have it in another language? In Japanese or? In which language do you have it?
I'm thinking,
Okay, do you have it in another language or neither?
no.
Okay, by the way, that's very funny. I get this one all the time. You know, somebody say, "Oh, I don't have it in that language. I have it in another language." Neither. And I'm saying this because that's a typical, I'm sorry to say this, but it's a typical lying statement, yes? You know, it's like the kids. Did you do this? Yeah, but the other, yeah? Oh, I know, but it's the language, you know, which is not, right? And I see it very often. So, anyway.
I know.
Yes, you know. In which language?
English.
English, let's go.
Altruistic.
Altruistic. Okay, it's altruistic. Yes, altruistic. Altruistic. Yes. So she has an altruistic world vision. Yes. Now you should do the same thing. If it's authority, what's her world vision?
Split.
Authority means a split. Split world vision. I don't understand.
Uh,
If somebody's
they
concerned with
are-
authority, what is his world vision? We'd call it world vision is like he did. Other, altruistic. Authority, very simple. No, don't you have an adjective you can make with that?
Dual. Two.
Yes. Okay. Now you have to be careful not to go too far from the concept.
Okay.
Yes. In other words, dual. You think that's the essence of authority, or do you think it's a consequence of the authority? Or it's really that the essence in authority is dual? Or you have to be more specific or closer to authority?
Interesting question.
You see, interpretation, you have to see how far are you. Because one might say, yes, if there's authority, that means it's dual. But is that specific enough, or that's too far, and you would need something closer to authority? In general, I say try to stick really to the... So do you have anything to propose or no? Do you have an adjective that corresponds to that in English? Or you don't dare say that adjective? Adjective, yeah? No? Third try. Do you have an adjective that corresponds to that substantive in English or no?
Dominated.
Is that an adjective?
No, it's not, but I don't know the grammar.
Fourth and last. Do you have an adjective that corresponds to that substantive in English or no? Okay, I'll take it that you
Big,
don't know.
big,
Big.
or small.
Authority is, okay, but big, so once they say, oh, it's big, that means it has to do with authority. For whom that makes sense, raise your hand. For whom it doesn't make sense, raise your hand. Okay, so see, you have your own lexicon. That's typical. Now, maybe they don't understand, or maybe they're wrong, I don't know, but it means that Jean-François is speaking to himself. He has a lexicon people don't get. Who has an adjective that would correspond to authority? Raise your hand. And ask someone, keep your hand up until you ask someone, what would be the adjective here?
Yes, please.
Ask him, what would be the adjective?
Tarum, what would be the adjective?
Authoritative.
Yes. It would be more, because maybe it's an English problem, authoritarian.
Authoritarian.
Yes. Is that
Yes.
an adjective corresponding to this?
Correct.
Did you know this word?
Yes, sure.
Well, why did you say it?
I don't know what's adjective and verbs and all that.
You don't know what?
What is an adjective?
You don't know what is an adjective,
No.
yes? But authoritarian is what I say, give a word that corresponds to that. Authoritarian was
Very
a
good.
strange word to use.
Not at all.
Do you like that word?
Yes.
Why didn't you say it? You don't know. Okay. Are you good with authoritarian?
Yeah.
Yes. Don't make your life too complicated, you know. I think when you think too much, we're gone, you know. Okay, authoritarian. And indeed, you admit this is an authoritarian vision?
Yes.
Okay, so go with that. That's right. Authoritarian. Now this one, you take it, Cecilia, or not?
Yeah.
Yes. So you take those both, right? Both make sense.
Yeah.
We're good? Okay, let's
I
take
have,
it.
because he was saying...
No, please, Oki, leave him alone. He never raises his hand. Let him be. See, he's already the mother of him. Now you adopt him. We're finished. No, you don't
He
speak.
doesn't know what's an adjective, so maybe it will help.
Oh, okay. So it's not Oki. It's you.
No, he told
No,
me.
no.
that-
If it's Oki, I don't want to hear it.
Okay.
Do you have a problem?
No.
Then forget it. Okay? Fundamental. Because otherwise everybody's going to adopt everybody. Will stop. There's a principle I like in this kind of workshop. If somebody got a problem, he raises his hand, he says a problem, and then I tell you what, one reason. Because if you know something we don't know, that means he's speaking to you in private.
Yeah.
So first you speak with your book, now you speak with him, that means you're not with us. You keep having private things. Yeah?
Yeah.
You like that?
Yeah.
Yes, okay. I like to make you happy. Yeah. Okay, so who has a third concept to propose here? Raise your hand. And Oli, two. Cecilia, go to another person, the third one, say, what is your concept?
Mine, what is your concept for my world vision?
For having said what you said, your concept is sincerity.
Sincerity. Okay, sincerity. Okay. Now, if it's sincerity, what kind of world vision would you call that? We need an adjective.
Truthful.
Truthful. Okay, she's truthful. So for you, when she says not to have respect, that was truthful. Okay? You take it or not? Does that make sense or no?
I don't really get the point.
Okay, no. See, that's funny. I'm asking if it makes sense. You ask me, I don't get the point. Well, then therefore, does it make sense or not? Okay, you tell Mike, your idea doesn't make sense to me.
Mike, your idea doesn't make sense to me.
Alright, now it's clear. Yeah, now, let's check. Who likes Cecilia? For whom, like Cecilia, this does not make sense? Raise your hand. Okay? Okay? Put your hand up. For whom it makes sense, raise your hand. Okay? Keep your hand up and ask somebody, explain to me this idea. Look the hands up.
Elizabeth, could you explain this to me, please?
I don't know how to explain.
You don't know?
I'm going to think.
No, just repeat what you have just said.
I don't know how to explain
Okay.
it.
Now, why you don't know how to explain it?
Because I don't know it.
So you don't understand it. Do you understand it or not? Ooh. You have raised your hand a while ago to say you understood it.
Yes.
But do you understand it or not?
No.
No. So why did you raise your hand?
I don't know.
You don't know.
Because I thought I understood
Okay.
it.
You thought, and that's a very typical thing. I understand. Explain to me. I don't know. Therefore you understand. No, I don't know. Huh? And by the way, that's a very important thing to say, because often it's I thought I knew, right? And that's very much to do with by the way, our business. Okay. So who does understand Mike's thesis? Raise your hand. Okay, try somebody else. Cecilia, explain to me Mike's idea.
George, could you tell me the meaning of that, please?
Yes, if Oscar is kind enough to see tell me the second word, it's sincerity. And what is the second?
Truthful.
Truth. I think that you have said what you were thinking at that time. You made exactly a reflection of your thinking at that time, and that's why we can use the word sincerity.
Okay. Did you understand that?
Yes.
Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
Does that give meaning to Mike's statement?
No.
Hmm? No. But you understand what he's saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Say what he's saying.
That what I said, the statement I said, it needs sincerity, but I don't get the point of truthful.
Okay. But sincerity you see.
Yeah.
Now let me ask you, in general, sincerity has to do with truthfulness or no?
I don't really know.
Do you want to know?
Yeah.
Well, find out. Does sincerity have to do with truthfulness or no?
I need some help.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm going to teach you a very simple trick, which I love, which some people don't like, but I find it useful. What's the opposite of truthful?
False.
False. Sincerity has more to do with truthful or with false?
It has more to do with truthful.
Good, so does that make sense now?
No, because truthful is not the adjective of sincerity. That's my problem.
Ah, so you know many things about this. You know what is the wrong adjective? Now you understand a lot of things. You even have a criticism.
Yeah.
So why did you claim you did not understand? If for somebody to criticize, does that mean he understands?
I think so.
What do you mean you think so? How can one criticize without understanding? Is that possible?
No.
So if you want to criticize, do you understand?
Yeah.
So do you understand Mike's idea?
Yeah.
Do you agree with it?
No.
No. But you understand it.
Yeah.
Did you mix up misunderstanding and not agreeing?
No, I understand that I'm not agreeing.
Yes, but did you therefore mix up not understanding and not agreeing?
No.
What? You said you did not understand it, but you do.
Yeah.
So do you understand it?
Yeah.
But earlier you said you did not. Remember?
Yeah.
But you did.
I want to say I didn't agree.
Okay, so did you mix up not understanding and not agreeing?
Yes.
Yes. And by the way, I insist because that's all the time. Fundamental. Yeah? People don't agree, but they say, I don't understand. That's very important because that means that's telling the other, you don't make sense. When it's not you don't make sense, it's I don't agree with you. So, but when we don't agree with someone, we don't want to give him a statute. No statute at all. You say, it makes no sense. Right? Instead of saying, okay, you just make sense, but, you know, I just disagree. Alright? So, Mike makes sense to you now?
Yeah, it makes
Tell him, Mike, you make sense.
You make sense.
Alright, good.
Sorry.
But you don't agree with that thesis, right?
Yeah.
You agree with the first two,
Yeah.
but not the third one. We good? Alright, so let's examine this. Which one of the three is most appropriate to your statement, you think? Is that authoritarian, altruistic, or truthful? That statement.
Altruistic.
Altruistic, yes? Okay, altruistic. So we have an altruistic world vision, yes? That's what we get from
With
that.
that statement, yeah.
Is that statement an accident? Or is it really Cecilia speaking?
It's not the whole Cecilia.
Oh, have you ever met the whole Cecilia?
No.
No. Then what is this whole Cecilia you're talking about? Oh wait, that's very interesting. Yes? Because if we never met the whole Cecilia, everything you will do, you will say, yes, but that's not the whole Cecilia. You see the great back door you just opened?
Yeah.
Nice. Yes? And that's a classical one. Somebody, for example, has killed his neighbor. Say, are you a killer? Oh, but I'm not only, I do many other good things. Don't get me wrong, I'm not a killer. You know? I'm a good father, I vote. Nice. Yes? And that's very interesting because I find among the myth of the period, one myth today very strong is called the whole being. The whole being. It's very today, this holistic thing. Now, of course, like any philosophy, holism has got its interest. I don't know if it's called holism with an H or with WH. Yes, you know, holism is interesting like any. But it's interesting when it's used as some kind of cover-up. And the thing about philosophy, it's so easy, and I think maybe that's the purpose, is to use it as a cover-up, yes? You know? So anybody, oh yeah, but the whole being, you know? So you ask people, I see a lot. You ask people to use logic, right? Say, well, how about logic? Oh yes, but logic, that's not the whole being, so I won't do logic. Yeah, that's a classical one. You ask people to reason, oh yes, but reasoning, that's not the whole being. And the whole being is this very phantomatic concept used, you know not to say, right? But now, when you do a consultation, when you want to examine the thinking, you have something there. So you say either, look, this is really an accident. You never would say such a thing. You're surprised to see Cecilia saying this, or no, that sort of belongs to Cecilia. This statement, not to have respect, does that sound Sicilian or not? Okay, so that is Cecilia, right? Yes. Okay, so if that sounds Sicilian, what is then therefore the more whole Cecilia in all this? And more authoritarian, altruistic, or truthful?
Yeah, altruistic.
Altruistic, yes, okay. So, Cecilia is an altruistic person. She has an altruistic world vision. Right? Right? Or no?
I can. Yeah.
Yeah, no, you're the one that should tell us. Unless somebody here knows Cecilia better than you. Does anybody in this room know Cecilia better than you?
I don't know.
Well, do you want to know? Because otherwise we can spend hours. Do you want to know or no?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, do you know people here?
Only the Portuguese one.
Okay, the Portuguese. Is there one of them that you suspect of knowing yourself better than you?
No.
No. So far, are you the champion in Sicilianism?
Yeah.
Okay, so no problem. So since you're the champion, we have to go with you. Does the fact of being altruistic correspond to the Sicilian world outlook or no?
Yeah.
Yes, no? But why all this resistance? Why, you think?
Because of the myth of the whole being.
Because, you worry about the whole being now, huh? Okay, so Cecilia's altruistic, yes?
Yeah.
But do you remember why this came about?
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Because I was reading while you were talking.
And that's altruistic?
No.
Oh, isn't that interesting?
Yes.
Yes? And, okay. That's funny, right? So therefore, if your act is not altruistic, what is altruistic in Sicilia?
I don't know.
Well, you want to know? Oh, go ahead and try. You told us that Sicilia is altruistic, so if it's not the act itself, what is altruistic? Well, you have no clue.
I don't know.
So you mean you tell us that after a few years of common life, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have lived together with yourself for a few years.
Yeah.
You came to the conclusion you're altruistic, but you don't know what is altruistic in yourself. Is that what you're saying? Interesting or no?
Funny.
Yes. You see, just for that, there was room to come to this seminar. Now you can go home and think you've done the job. Now, let's help. Who knows then what is altruistic in Sicilia? Who has a clue? Who has an insight on that? Raise your hand if you have an insight. Keep your hands up. Okay. And ask somebody with a hand up. What is altruistic in Sicilia?
I don't know your name, sorry.
Jeannie.
Jenny, what's altruistic in Sicilia? In me?
Because Cecilia told the truth about how she...
No, she didn't take that, huh? Don't forget. We don't want that. We stick to altruistic in her. In other words, that's it's an abstract question. If it's not her act that's altruistic, what is altruistic? What can we implies altruistic in her, therefore?
Well, I think she is altruistic.
Yeah, but how do you know her well?
No, but by her act, I think she's...
Yes, but see, her act, was her act altruistic of reading the book while somebody else is speaking?
No, but her
No,
telling...
let's go slowly. So was it the act or no? Was the act altruistic? No. So what is therefore altruistic in her?
That she told you what her act was.
Yes, so, this we know, but now we want to go further. And then, therefore, if it's not the act, what is altruistic therefore?
Her consideration of you.
Her consideration of me. Only of me.
Well, in this incident, yes.
No, but we're not in the incident now. The incident is there now. So let's go find what is altruistic. What is altruistic dimension? What is it? What is altruistic?
She's concerned about others.
Yes, but what is it? Who is concerned? Look, when she was reading the book, was she concerned?
No.
No. So then who, what, see? I see somebody kill himself. Oh, but he's very human. But tell me, what is human? He just killed someone. Maybe he's human, but what is human in him? See? What is this other, since there's a whole Cecilia, that part was not. What is the other part that is, anybody's got an idea? Raise your hand. Ask somebody else. What is altruistic therefore in Cecilia?
Mark, what is altruistic for me?
The part you want to be.
The part you want to be. You take it?
Yeah.
All right. What do you call the part you want to be? You have a name for it?
No.
No, but you speak with your hand now. You have it on.
No.
You have a name for it? But the part she wants or somebody wants to be,
Ideal self.
ideal self. Yes?
Yeah.
So, the Sicilian, in Cecilia, in that whole being, the part that is altruistic is the ideal self. You take it?
I take it.
You like that?
Yeah.
Yes. So, and therefore, when she said not to have respect, was it the actual self who said that, or was it the ideal self?
The ideal self.
Okay, so the ideal self spoke, answered to Oscar. An ideal self was not behaving or not speaking the same way that the self who we're seeing. So in the whole being we have at least two people. Yes? And if it's not the one that was reading the book, what would you call it? If it's not the ideal self, that one, what would you call it? Give it a name. What's the name?
You gave it a name.
Yeah, but I know, but I should not have. But anyway, but you can take it since I said it, or give it another name. What would you call it?
The real self.
The real self. Okay, so real self reads books when people speak, and the ideal self says, "Hey, don't do this. This is okay. Yeah, right."
I take it. Yeah.
And that discussion, you familiar with it?
Yeah.
Yes, of course. You see, that's the point. See, now look, ideal self, ideal self, and the other one you call it what? The real self. Yes, and that's Cecilia, that's a typical thing, right? Somebody speaks, we try to analyze what's going on there, something which is, forwards, right? And then we discover something, and I ask the person, okay, are you familiar with this? And the person say, and I often say, yes, I'm familiar with it. And that, by the way, for me, is what is key. You take something like that, just happening, small thing, nothing to do with the whole being, it's just almost an accident, almost unheard, almost not perceived. You take it, look what's in it, and you say, this, sounds like the person. Yeah? And that reminds me of this Heidegger, that, any philosophical consideration goes back to the totality of philosophy, and I like very much the idea that the infinite is in the finite. You take some very finite thing, and in that finite thing, you find something huge. It's the idea of the know thyself, Socrates. Know thyself, and you'll know the gods and the universe. If you want to know that particular small thing that is you, right? So, that fight, or that discussion, or that between ideal self and real self, is something that Cecilia is familiar with, yes?
Yeah.
But look at the beautiful thing we have. Real self, is it altruistic? Is the real self altruistic?
No.
How is it?
The real self?
Yeah.
Selfish.
It's selfish. Okay? The real self is selfish. But the ideal self is altruistic. Let me ask you, why would the ideal self not be real?
That's a good question.
Yes. Why would that ideal self not be real? What's unreal about it? And there, we go next step to discover the axiology of Cecilia. That's an interesting problem. Why would not it be the ideal self that's real? You know that for Plato, that would be more the real, for example. So explain to us why, for you, that ideal self is not real.
I don't know, I'm not able to do it.
But are you surprised?
Because I can.
Are you surprised?
Yeah.
Yes, well, that's the point. Just be and we can, wait a minute, yes, that's me here. And say, what's going on here? Yes, I'm surprised by myself. Yes?
Yeah.
Okay, but let's examine a little philosophical experiment. Somebody comes and tell you, my ideal self is not real. The real, independently if it's, selfish or not, but just that. Who would have an explanation why for someone the ideal would not be real? Anybody has an idea? Raise your hand if you have an explanation. And Cecilia asks someone, why would the ideal not be real?
Why does the ideal not be real?
If the ideal is only in your imagination.
Okay, let's try that. You take that? You take it or not as an explanation that fits, no? You can take it or not take it. If he does not, we'll go to somebody else, as you wish.
Can I ask Mike
No, no. I'm sure you like Mike a lot, but no, that's not the issue. Does that make sense what he's telling you? Or no?
No.
No. So, repeat what he has said.
When it's only in your imagination.
Okay. And for you, what's only in imagination? Is it real or not?
Yeah, it's real.
Okay, it's real too, so you don't accept that, right? Okay. Who else has an explanation for that scheme? Raise your hand. There's some newcomers. Go ahead.
Janine?
I think the ideal is something that you aspire to, and if you already it, and it's a reality view, if you can't aspire to be what is already the case, it's always an ideal, necessarily something always out of reach, or beyond what's now.
Okay. Do you understand her thesis or no?
I didn't
No.
understand the question.
Do you understand what she's saying? Yes or no? Yes? Can you summarize it? What is she saying?
That the ideal is something that we can reach, something we aspire to.
Okay. Is that a good explanation for you?
Yeah.
Okay. So, why is the ideal not real? Say it then.
Because it's something we cannot reach.
Okay. So, you cannot reach.
In the moment.
Wait, hold on. We cannot reach. Therefore, by opposition, by reflection, what is real?
You can reach.
What is real? So in the Sicilian world vision, reality is defined as what you can reach. Isn't that nice? I'm getting to know Sicilian philosophy. Definition of reality, what you can reach. Yes?
I don't understand that.
You don't understand it or you don't agree with it?
I don't understand it.
Okay. Is there any word you don't understand here?
Reach.
Hold on. You okay?
Oh, yes.
All right. Okay. You're happy?
Oh, yes.
Okay. So happiness has to be expressed. Do you understand those words?
The word rich, I don't understand.
Reach. Reach. Okay.
Atteindre.
Reach, c'est...
Atteindre.
Atteindre.
Justement.
Oh, no. Okay, let's start again. Do you understand those words or no?
No.
No.
In this
No, wait,
context, I
please,
don't.
please, George. Take it easy. Do you understand those words, yes or no?
No.
No. Which word you don't understand?
Reach.
Reach. You know that word in English?
Yes.
You know what it means in French?
Yes.
What is it in French?
To get to the thing itself.
Okay? Who think he has just answered my question? Raise your hand. Who think he did not raise your hand? Okay. Do you know why they say that?
Of course.
Why
But
do
I
they-
said it in English and not in French.
All right. Well, then why you don't want to answer my question?
Because everybody is English speaking around here.
Okay, listen, George. Are you following your agenda or mine?
We should.
No, I ask you again. Are you following your agenda or mine?
No, go ahead.
Huh?
Go ahead. You want me to answer in French?
Fourth time. Are you following your agenda or mine?
You.
Okay. Who think has followed my agenda? Raise your hand. Who think has followed his? Raise your hand. Okay. You surprised at that?
Not at all.
And the fact George sticks to his own agenda when he has to follow somebody else's agenda. You familiar with the situation or not? Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay. Now, can that stop one from understanding when he sticks to himself and is not with the others?
You could.
Nice?
He could.
You happy?
No.
No. That was the point. Okay, so let's go back to our business. Okay? So, get back to our business. So, if somebody says, definition of reality. Reality is what you can reach. Who can define now what philosophical world outlook is this in our classical scheme? Reality is what you can reach. Who can say what is philosophical outlook here? Among people that know the different philosophy schools of philosophy, what is it? Very simple. Who know? Raise your hand if you know. Raise your hand if you know. Yes, Jeannie?
Idealism.
It's idealism. Idealism defines reality is what you can reach, yes? So what you cannot reach for an idealist is not reality? Does it work or not? Sometimes. By the way, I'm going to make you write up the list of the cheating words. Sometimes, more or less, it depends, not always, not necessarily. You know, I'm sure you'll find some more, yes?
Escapist.
Yeah. So, who knows? What world vision says reality is what you can reach. Yeah?
I thought about empirical.
Empiricism. Empiricism. Who has another proposition? This is the we choose, yes? Materialism. Who has another one? Yeah? Positivism. You listen, Cecilia, we're working for you, huh? Okay. Anybody else? Yeah? Pragmatism. Yes? Anybody else? Okay, Cecilia, which one is it?
I don't know.
You want to know? This is your own philosophy we're talking about. Yes? Reaching has to do with what? Has to do with thinking?
No.
Has to do with what?
With materialism.
With, yes? Huh? And material that you observe or you do something?
I do something.
You do something. Right? So, which one of the schools that we're brought up looks like that? Pragmatist. Indeed, there's a pragmatist thing. Look, what's real is what you can reach, what you can accomplish, what you can attain, yes?
Yeah. Okay.
Are you, therefore, are we drawing from this that you're a pragmatist? What's going on?
I thought I was an idealist.
Yes, okay. That's a very nice sentence. Say it again.
I thought I was.
Yes. Huh? But look, is it the second time we see that there is between the ideal and you confuse ideal and and the real? Yeah, that's nice. And in fact, do you see people around you? They think there's something. You listen to them. Hey, these people are off. They're the opposite of the way they think. Do you meet those people?
Yeah.
Yes. And they ever come to your mind that maybe you're one of those?
Yeah.
You did or not?
Yeah.
Oh, so you knew it before there.
No.
Well, did it cross your mind that maybe you're one of those people that think he's something when he's something else or no? Or it never crossed your mind?
Yeah.
So you knew it.
No.
Well, how is it possible that it crosses your mind and you don't know? How is that possible? You see the problem?
Yeah.
How is it possible? How can someone have an idea in his head and say, I don't know, but I had it in my mind. How is that possible?
Because I can
But
explain.
if I can ask you, because you keep putting your pen there in front of your mouth. Yeah, but that's called censorship, so put it down, because I can't hear you. Yeah? Go ahead.
I can explain it.
You cannot explain it. That's nice, right? I had it in my head, but I don't know it. Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah.
Can it be explained again by the split of personality here? Yes? Which one knows it? The ideal or the real?
The real one.
The real knows it. And the ideal, does he know it or not?
I don't know.
Well, which one knows and which one doesn't know? You have the ideal and the real. Which one knows and which one doesn't know?
I don't know.
You have no clue. You're lost.
Yeah.
Yeah. You lost?
Yeah.
Okay. Who wants to help us solve that thing? She has one that knows, one doesn't know in her head. Which one is the ideal? Which one is the real? Who has an explanation for that? Who wants to help her? Anybody? Raise your hand so she sees, and ask somebody, help me figure that out. Come on.
Help me figure that out.
I think she is unusual.
She is what?
Unusual.
No, that's not our question. Our question is, you have to follow our thing here. Somebody in her knows and somebody doesn't know. We want to know who is who. Is it the ideal that knows and the real that doesn't know, or is it the real that knows and the ideal that doesn't know?
It's the real.
We can help her on that. You want to help her on that?
The real that knows.
The real knows.
Yes.
So the real knows and the ideal?
Does not know.
How is that possible?
Actually, the ideal also knows.
Jeannie, are you within yourself or within her now?
No, I'm within her.
Okay, did she clarify for you or no?
Yeah.
Did she clarify? Oh, then I want to hear this. Tell me what she has clarified for you.
Because I
I didn't even think about what she's.
So wait, do you understand what she's saying?
She's confused too.
Okay, so did she, no, Jeannie, see, you can't say this, see? If somebody tells you you're confused, just listen to it. So did she help you or no? If she's confused, does she help you?
No.
No, tell her, Jeannie, you don't help me.
You didn't help me.
Alright, who wants to help her figure that out? Raise your hand. Ask somebody else, help me figure out who knows and who doesn't know.
Mike, could you help me figure it out?
Yeah. The ideal self knows it, but the real self does not know it.
Alright, you like that? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You know why he says that?
No.
You want to know why?
Yeah.
Ask him.
Why, Mike?
Okay. You, in yourself, in your ideal self, you want it to be altruistic,
Yeah.
but you have not attained it. Right now, you are selfish. So your aim is to attain that, which is the truth. But you have not, because of maybe some limitations.
And how does limitation produce ignorance?
It produces ignorance because you don't have the totality of the vision. You have some blockages.
And the ideal knows.
The ideal is total.
Okay. Yeah, it makes sense for you or no?
Yeah.
Yes, no? Your eyes say the contrary of your mouth, you know? Does it make sense or no?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Somebody else wants to try another explanation? Ask somebody else to explain to you.
Janine?
Jeanette.
Janine, please.
Well, I thought the real self knew that the ideal self censored the knowledge and selected other explanations that passed through your mind. So presumably they're competing ideas. And the ideal self selected this particular one, which was that you are altruistic. I forget that, yes.
Okay, do you understand that or no?
I don't know if I...
No.
I don't
Do you understand her or no?
I don't think so.
What do you mean you don't think so? How can you say, do you understand her? I don't think so. I mean, oh, maybe I do understand her after all. It's very strange. Do you understand her or no?
No.
No. So tell her, Janet, I don't understand you.
Janet, I don't understand.
All right.
Could you
And
say
if,
it slowly?
no. Yes, no second. No. She's nothing. She's no second try. Who else wants to do it? Raise your hand. Ask somebody else. Look at the hands up.
I think they both know.
Wait a minute. Are you with us or you make your own plan now?
No, I'm really...
Well, we have to know who knows, who doesn't know. You tell us both no. Are you her friend? Are you her friend?
Yes.
Yes, that's how you can tell a friend. It's trying to bullshit you to make you feel better. Yeah? There's a one ignorant and there's a no, everybody knows, no ignorance there. That's how you reckon as a friend. That's what Plato says, truth and friendship don't go together. Friend says, no, you're fine, everybody knows in you. No, there's one ignorant in there. And we have to explain who is it that knows and who's ignorant. Who else? Last try, somebody?
Could you help me, please?
Okay, a nihilist is somebody who...
Nihilist.
Nihilist.
No, wait a minute, Jeannie. Who has come up with the idea of nihilist here?
She did.
Have you come up with the idea of nihilist? Don't worry. Have you come up with the idea of nihilist?
No.
Tell her, you did not listen to me.
You did not listen to me.
Okay, no problem.
Can I ask?
No problem. Maybe she's wrong. Maybe you listen to her great, but that doesn't matter. Now, see, when you have somebody in front of you, coming to see you to be questioned, in a way you can tell him everything you want. If he doesn't hear the reality, he doesn't hear. And that's frustrating, right? Frustrating? It's frustrating.
Yes.
Good! That's the point, you see? But that obliges you to go out of yourself. You're not Jeannie anymore. You are the alter ego of her. And if she says, you did not listen to me, you did not listen to her. I don't know how strange maybe that sounds to you, but if she said that, that's the case. Make sense?
Well...
Does it make sense or no?
Yes.
So last try. Anybody wants to explain who knows, who doesn't know in her system? No. Okay, so just, you can leave it at that, doesn't matter. But that's the point. See how we can start from a very simple thing and little by little reconstruct. You can call it, like if we go, archaeology of knowledge. In other words, these 4 words are the tip of an iceberg. Yes? And we reconstruct, we do archaeology. Like the archaeologist, he picks up a little piece of something and he reconstructs. What can this be? What can it be connected to? And then he makes the whole animal based on little piece of little bone he found. And that's the point, right, in general, and that's discovery. Yes? Okay? Now, just that. Don't worry about the particular details now of how Cecilia thinks, but this overall process that we were trying to do of unveiling the Sicilian thought or Sicilian being, whatever.